Hey, what's up? This is Tyler Brown. We're down here in San Diego, California. Not a lot of riding going on right now due to the weather. I'm living at the Olympic Training Center, training and doing that, and 2011 is going to be a big year. Yeah, Eddie's is really great. It's cool to see them come on board and do something in the race side of things. Hooked up with them this year, and basically we're working on maybe producing an clip shoe for BMX racing. You know, it's cool to kind of have an outside brand come into the racing side of BMX and do that. And not only that, it keeps me looking cool out there, which I like. It keeps me looking good, and when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you ride good. So it's really great. Life at the training center is good. You know, I mean, you can't deny that you have everything there. You've got a world-class track, you've got the best gym I've ever been to train with, and you have a full support team. You know, you got sports psychologists, sports nutritionists, sports doctors, everything you need to basically be the best rider that you can be, all in one spot with everything, you know, just steps from your front door. So at the OTC, we've got a good mix of everything. We've got an ABA amateur track, we've got a world-class supercross track, and just recently we had some guys come out from England. Clark and Kent Contractors came out, and they built probably one of the coolest pump tracks I've ever seen. There's lines all over the place. There's huge doubles that are 35 feet long, super tight technical sections, and it's a good mix of everything that the guys can go big and really blast and send some big stuff, and you know, the girls can work on some of their technical side too. So it's a really good mix of everything. And then also behind the supercross hill, they put in 2 supercross rhythm sections, so we can kind of not worry about the full track, but just focus on doing some supercross rhythm straightaways and stuff like that. Yeah, Mike Day comes out straight off back surgery, and next thing I know, the kid's showing everybody up. No, I mean, Mike's got amazing skills, and he's out there riding and just manualing everything you could imagine, and jumping and landing on his back wheel and just keeping it up for days. You know, the kid's got more skills in his one arm that most people have in their whole body. Years ago, yeah, I worked out a little deal with Avent, and I was riding for them. That was kind of when I first turned pro. I was kind of starting to establish who I was as a pro, and they wanted to do a little deal with me, and they wanted me to do an ad for their carbon fiber bike, and they wanted me to backflip it. And I said the only way I'd flip that thing is if you for sure gave me a full-paged ad. So that was kind of the deal breaker for me, is they said they gave me a full-page ad. So went out to the trails and pulled a flip, and luckily the carbon fiber stayed together, and I walked away. I think for me, the craziest time ever was on a bike was when we raced the very first Supercross event, and it was in San Jose. I was 18 years old, you know, just turned pro, trying to come through the ranks, and I show up and see this massive 4-story starting hill with a huge drop off at the bottom. Just walking up that hill going, what in the world am I doing here? What am I thinking? And luckily I kind of just got over it real quick and jumped down and did it, and then turned around and looked back at this massive starting hill with a huge ski jump at the bottom. So I think that was probably one of the most scared I've been on a bike. Oh, the most fun I've had on a bike, that's hard because it's so much fun all the time, everything that we do. Probably have to be a couple years ago. I went to France and raced like a indoor pro invitational race, and there was a lot of hype, and they did it real good, and there was like 175 guys, and I ended up winning that one. I think for a turning point in my career was in 2005. I was 19 years old, and I got an opportunity to go live at the World Cycling Center and just basically train for a whole summer. I lived there for 3 months. And for me, you know, I was 19 years old, and I was at that turning point in my life where I need to pick, you know, do I go this path and kind of work a regular job and a regular career, or do I take this thing serious and try to make BMX my career and my job and what I want to do? And I went over to Switzerland and lived there for 3 months, and I learned how to train and what it kind of took to be a pro racer. You know, just the dedication that it took, and after that 3 months there, you know, living in a country where you don't speak the language of anyone else, and you're basically just there to do your thing. And I learned a lot about myself and kind of what it took to be a pro, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And you know, that kind of gave me the recognition to continue to do great things in racing, and kind of gave me the motivation to keep training, and came back and started kind of kicking things into high gear and doing what needed to be done. I just got finished doing the Made TV show, which was a really cool experience. We filmed it down here in San Diego. Basically, long story short, there was a young girl from San Diego who wanted to be made into a BMXer. So MTV contacted me, and I passed all the requirements they needed, and we made it happen. So it was a pretty long shoot. We did it over a 5-week period. Kind of took this girl who never rode a BMX bike at all and got her riding around the track and the skate park and all that kind of stuff. So luckily with BMX, we get to do a lot of traveling and things like that. But with those crazy travels, gives you a lot of crazy experiences. And unfortunately, I didn't get to go to the Olympics in 2008, but I went to Beijing in 2011 for the test event. And that place is just, it's on another level, man. There's, just the way of life, the way everybody lives, the food that they eat. I remember walking down the street and seeing some little kid hunched over in the middle of Tiananmen Square with thousands of people around, pooping in a bag that his mom had underneath him, just straight like a dog. They've got little cuts in their pants, and that's one thing for sure that was crazy. And you go to eat and you look down and you got chicken feet on the buffet and just everything. But what's the key to being a BMX race pro? I think you got to have a lot of things in order. Nowadays it's nothing that anybody can slack off and get away with at winning races. You've got to kind of put all the elements in order. Now I can honestly say BMXers, we're true athletes. I put up the training I do with any athlete in any other professional sport, and I think my training would hold up. You got to train. You got to train serious, and you got to put a lot of work into it. But you got to look beyond that too. You got to make sure you're doing the typical things that an athlete, a top world-class athlete would do. You got to be eating right, sleeping right. I've got a great support team with me. I've got a great coach that I work with. I've got a sports psychologist that kind of helped me on that end, and it's kind of just putting that together, that package, and working with the right people and doing everything that you have to do to kind of make life easier so you can focus on your goals and be a racer. The biggest thing is just showing up to races confident. Once you can show up confident and know that you can do it, then nobody can stop you.